Yeah, my name is Joe Shelby.
And my name is Lori Shelby.
Actually, well, it was kind of funny because it was raining, and she was playing basketball with her best friend, and there was kind of a muddy slope where I was like cutting through the basketball court, and I slid down in the mud, and they started laughing at me. They thought that was really funny.
It was.
And so really, I turned around and I looked at her and I said, "Well, she's kind of cute. I'm going to marry that girl." At some point in the future, we met at a keg party, and there was a very long line, and everybody's fighting to get a beer. So I offered to get her a beer, and I brought it back, and it was all foam. So she was complaining about it, and I said, "Well, foam has more alcohol content," and
I believed him. So I totally believed him, and I was like, "Oh, foam has more alcohol content than beer?" And
Yeah,
then he's like, "Oh wow, I am going to marry her." Remember when we were in Hawaii? I think it was Maui,
Oh, yeah.
and you won a trip for your
Right.
being top salesman.
Yeah.
And we were there, and our daughters were going to the pool every day, and we didn't know this, but they were also buying drinks for everybody at the pool, like
Yeah.
pina coladas, everything. And when you went
Yeah,
down,
so I went to check out, and I thought, it was just for incidentals. So I thought maybe $100 here or there, and the bill for incidentals was $3,700. And so then that's when I found out that they were actually they thought the drinks were free. So they were like walking around with the room key and buying everybody drinks at the pool, which was actually people that I worked with. So,
and they knew,
it's
like a 12-year-old buying me pina coladas.
Yeah.
That was hilarious, though.
I mean, going way back, going to Disney World with the kids when they were real small, that kind of thing. That was always a lot of fun.
I was making, memory books for the children, like when they turn, 20, 21. You just make these books, and I started looking at all the photos from travel. And in Disney World, you're always carrying the children, carrying everything. The strollers are all over the place. That's funny that you thought that was a great moment, because I was looking back going, wow, good thing you're here.
Yeah, that was always a lot of fun.
I'm trying to think of, I really enjoyed with the kids when they were older. Like when we were able to go, we went to Europe together and just, traveling through. We loved Ireland, Italy, England.
And going to softball games
Oh,
and,
yeah.
participating with all the things that the kids did, softball, cheerleading, school events, that kind of thing.
Yeah, remember our grass looked really bad because we never had the weekend to do anything around the house.
One of my favorite things to do is definitely when our whole family just gets together and watches movies. I just, even when I watch movies now, I'm like, oh, I wish we were in our basement watching them all together. Because my mom will cackle at things that are not even that funny.
Yeah,
Watching movies with her, first of all, she has to have the volume on 100.
It's very loud.
So you're in a movie theater when you're watching a movie with her. But then she falls asleep.
Yes, but the commentary is always fun. I'm sure someone else coming into our family watching a movie with us would be absolutely miserable because you're just mostly hearing us talk to each other about the movie the entire time. So.
And we watch so many movies. People that I meet are like, how have you seen all these movies? And I'm like, well, I used to watch movies with my family every
weekend,
yeah.
Almost even randomly during the week. It's like, oh, we don't have any homework to do after 8. Let's put a movie on.
And she loves Hallmark movies. She loves the cringiest movies. During Christmas, we have to I think we're looking into how to unsubscribe from the Hallmark channel.
I know my dad is.
It is crazy.
That is definitely one of the funniest things about her is her love for Hallmark movies. And she knows, she says, the cornier the better.
Yeah.
I want there to be a princess in Transylvania who has a secret twin who somehow has met a prince, and now it's Christmas and they're married. It's the plot makes no sense, but she loves it. The crazier the better.
She is a big Hallmark sponsor us.
Yeah, seriously.
3 girls, we don't have any brothers or anything. So just having the 3 girls, we'll watch our shows, we'll watch The Bachelor.
Yeah.
We love reality TV. So just doing girly stuff with our mom, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I find one of my favorite things to do with my mom is to simply be around her. I feel like she has Even though she's like this really fun personality, she's also very calming.
She is so fun that even doing like mundane things every day.
Like going to the grocery store with her is honestly
Yeah,
fun,
it's like
so.
it's something different happens every single time.
I love just like exploring new places with her. She always makes it really fun. She's a planner, so she always plans everything out ahead of time and has like the most perfect vacations always just set up, and that always makes them really special.
Something that makes my mom always laugh is she always laughs at herself. She's really good at laughing at herself, I'll say that.
Yeah, she's very good about like laughing through the pain almost in a way. Like if she can tell someone's having a hard time, she'll like lighten the mood with a joke, or just trying to bring herself down to the level of whoever's going through kind of an awkward situation and then turn it into a funny situation rather than a awkward one. I feel like the hardest she laughs is often at herself, just getting through life.
I'll say, one of the times that I think I've seen her laugh the hardest was we were traveling from Paris to London, and we were supposed to get to some reservation by a certain time, and the ticket was, she read the ticket one way, and I was like, "Excuse me, Mrs. Shelby, like this ticket, the way that I read it is read this way."
The train has left.
The train has left. Basically, the connecting train that we were getting to had left already, and she
she cracked up. She
harder
cracked
than
up
I'd
for
ever
about
seen her.
like 15 minutes. We all laughed for about an hour because we just were like, well, what do you do? What can you do but laugh in that situation?
She also loves a good song. She loves when we make up a little jingle.
This is the most musical family I think I've ever known.
Yeah.
She loves a good jingle, I would say, because she makes them up for everything. Like,
I would say it's not just her. It's like the whole. Maybe she's rubbed off on you two. Like
That's true.
just every like new situation, there's tends to be a new song that's introduced.
and none of us can sing. But
Yeah, we aren't like musically talented. We just like sing a lot of jingles for some reason or another. And I think it does rub off from my mom doing that. She's like,
yeah,
yeah.
she does not quit. And they'll be like from like 10 years ago, and I'll be like, oh wait, I forgot about that song. And we'll see like a truck driving down the highway. She's like, oh, the red truck. We got to sing the red truck song. I'm like, what? And then she sings, I'm like, oh, I know this one. This is a good one.
One thing that she does that always makes me laugh is she always starts like happy crying whenever she first sees us. We could have seen her like 2 days ago, and she's acting like we haven't seen her in like 15 years. And it's really cute and it's sweet, but it always makes me laugh. And then also just something that she does that makes me laugh is she's so hardworking that she tends to do a lot of multitasking things. And so she's like always doing sweet mom stuff, but at the same time she's on a conference call or something. So she's like trying to make chocolate chip cookies while trying to take care of something really important at work at the same time. And it just always makes me laugh to see her just juggling everything at once, but doing a good job and also doing it in a way that makes us all laugh.
Yeah, and her being in the kitchen in general is always just a sight to see.
She loves lighting things on fire.
Yeah, we've seen so many things burnt, but she also, when she does cook, things are always really good. She just has a few special. Mama's famous chicken, which is like the only chicken she can make.
That's why
But
it's
every time
Mama's
she
famous.
makes it, we're all like hyping it up and like, wow, this so good. Like,
I loved when I was 16 and me and her together went on a trip to Paris, just the two of us, and that was a really great time for us to just hang out and bond.
one of my favorite memories is from when I was learning how to drive. And my mom was much more chill about it than my dad, so I always preferred to go with her because she would let me kind of like, she wouldn't be like 10 and 2, like you gotta be here. She was kind of like, all right, just like ease in. And there was a few times when I had to like make left turns, and she would, how moms always like throw your arm in front of you and you're
Soccer
like,
mom.
nothing's coming and there's no cars on the street. We're in like an empty parking lot, and I'm like making a left turn and she's like holding on to my car door, like screaming. I'm like, we're in an empty parking lot. Like, what is going on? It was so dramatic. It was so like, it was just so her. I wasn't allowed to make left turns for I think the first 2 years I had my license after that.
She's definitely a soccer mom armor. Like if like we stop at a red light, she'll be like,
for sure.
we are slowly approaching the stop sign.
The three words that best describe Laurie, I think, are force of nature, right?
I'm gonna say 1, Caring. I'm going to say 2, driven. And 3, I'm going to say dramatic. And I get that from her too. So
The 3 words, I would say 1, she's hardworking. She's hardworking because she cares about what she does. 2, she's very warm and just loving and makes you feel so welcome. And 3, honestly, I'd say she's badass. I think she's pretty badass. And I love her for it.
I think that some traits I've inherited from her are just being really like strong-minded and having a good like head on my shoulders. And if I believe in something and I know that it's right, it won't be easy to like sway me. And I think just having like that integrity in everything that I do and knowing like exactly what I want to do, I feel like she always seems like she knows what the next step is, and she always has this confidence with everything she does. And I try to carry that even if I don't really know what I'm doing. I always just try to channel her and be like, what would Lori do? What would mom do?
There's memories from my childhood that I'll always cherish of her just being really sweet and comforting when I was, an anxious kid getting ready to like go up to bat at a softball game or something, and her always being really encouraging and encouraging me to always be myself and to never compromise that for any reason and to not be afraid, because as long as you're yourself, then everything will work out as it's supposed to.
I can't imagine not having a career and a family. They've worked really well, mainly because, well, I married well. I married the right man, for sure, because you can't do this alone. And, we were able to work together as a team and have beautiful daughters, and, everything's just kind of falling in place because we worked hard at it together. My advice to young mothers out there is, don't try to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. You're probably hearing about them from my children. But don't worry about that. From those mistakes will come amazing learnings and amazing improvements in yourself and with your family. So, there's no perfect mom. I certainly am not one, but there is a lot of love, and that's all you really need.